Hello, and welcome back to the Mary Gates Endowment for Students virtual information session videos. In this next section, we're going to look at the research scholarship a bit more in depth. So before you is the essay prompt for the research application. It reads, in your own voice, describe your project so that someone outside your discipline can follow your train of thought and someone in your discipline recognizes the methods and approach you're using to explore your topic. Include in your essay your motivation and interest in this work, what your work will contribute to your area of study, your plan and methods to complete this work in the quarters of award, the mentorship you will be receiving throughout your proposed project. If you and your mentor are collaborating this project, including how you will work together, and how your project and the mentorship you will receive will allow you to grow as a researcher. And conversely, if your project is more of an independent effort, please include how your mentor and other available resources will support your growth in your research endeavors. To understand what this prompt is asking us, let's go back to that first section. In that first section is asking you to balance two types of reviewers. The first is a reviewer who is more of a generalist. They are not knowledgeable specifically about your specific goals, your specific project, but they can understand and at least follow along some of the concepts that you're presenting. On the other hand, you're going to have the more specific reviewers who do understand your topic of interest. And the reason we ask you to balance these two things out is because you will have both of these reviewers during the review process. So be sure to write things out in a way that flows, in a way that makes sense, and to include enough details so that someone within your discipline can recognize that you are knowledgeable on your topic. In this way, you will be successful at balancing these two types of audiences. Also, in the first bullet point, it's asking you to include your motivation and interest in this work. So why this specific topic? Do you have a personal connection? Is there maybe a reason you were exposed to this work earlier in your academic career? Why does this topic matter to you, and what drive do you have to investigate it? The next one is asking you to think about why this matters. So what about your findings are going to contribute to certain progress in the area of study, or how does this matter? Why does this matter in a bigger picture, right? So it's okay if you zoom out and in the grand scheme of things describe why studying this specific area of study is important. Next is detailing out a really specific plan with methods in terms of those two quarters of award. Although yes, your project might be more lengthy and it might extend past these two quarters of award, what we're really interested in as reviewers is understanding what will happen during those two quarters. So if we were to go into your lab during one of those two quarters, what would we see you doing? And similarly, if you're not in a lab, maybe you're in a field, what are those specific things that you're going to carry out day by day, week by week? That will be important for us to know. Next is asking you to think about how your mentor is going to be involved. So for example, if you are going to collaborate more closely with them, what are the things that you're going to be collaborating on? What's your interaction going to look like? Every day, every week? What's the frequency going to be like? And what types of tasks are you going to be doing together? On the other hand, if maybe this is a project that you're leading more independently and without the addition of a lot of other collaborators, what role is your mentor going to have? Are they going to come in and inspect weekly? Are you going to provide certain reports to them? How are they going to contribute to your project and make sure that it's moving forward? Next, we have the evaluation criteria. So these are the main areas that you'll be scored in by those reviewers. Motivation of applicant is the first, which once again is asking you to describe how you prepared to be successful in this project. Are there classes that you've taken that equipped you for this? Did you receive a certain training that is going to be really helpful in carrying out your project? What is going to really equip you and really going to tell us that you're ready to take on this challenge? Next is understanding of research. So describing why this matters, what research has been done so far, and how are you going to keep pushing that research forward, being descriptive of your goals, the collaborators, who's going to be involved, and of course those methods. Next is the quality and intensity of experience. How much time are you going to devote to this? How challenging of an experience is this going to be? Is this something similar to something you've done in the past? Or is this really pushing you to the next level? Let us know how this is really going to stretch you as a researcher and allow you to grow. The last component is education and long-term impact. So why does this project in specific push you towards a bigger and larger goal? Is it because you're hoping to get into a PhD program in the future? Is it because you are very interested in this specific niche topic? How is this going to really set you up for that next adventure that you take on after this project? So in other words, connect the dots for us. Give us a linear progression of how this is going to be needed in your own personal development and professional development. The last important note to make here is that there will be no interviews for research applicants. All decisions will be made based on your submission in your personal application, which includes your essay, and those letters of support that your mentors will be submitting.